Hello and welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement. I am here at the News Forum where all voices matter. It's a great opportunity to have for the first time in this year, 2026, our regular guest, Thomas Caldwell. He, of course, is the founder of Caldwell Securities Limited in Toronto. Tom, great to have you on the program again.
Good to be here, Tony. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And as it is the new year, it's a great time to talk about 2026 and what you see in your crystal ball. I'd love to start this deep dive, however, by talking about the choices and the opportunities and the challenges for Canadian businesses. What should they be concentrating on in 2026?
Well, to give slight kudos to our current Prime Minister, Canadian business has got to, you know, work on reducing interprovincial trade barriers. The government's trying to do that. They should be trying to work on try to diversify their customer base.
Mhm.
I've traveled the world and been in many places, and very rarely do I see Canadian companies really making an effort to expand into those markets. I think we have to think bigger and dream bigger, and we have to think post-Trump. I don't know that we're ever going to get to post-Trump, but part of it, that's that need, and again, Mr. Carney is running all over the world. Hopefully, something comes out of this,
Right.
but we have to diversify away from America because America has an agenda here, or Mr. Trump has an agenda here that can be quite detrimental to Canadian
Mm.
business, and we can no longer rely on America as a customer, as an ally, as a friend. The game has changed, and it's changed quite dramatically. And we have to adopt our thinking in a totally different. We have to think bigger.
Now, is that, I mean, I hear that and I don't disagree, but at the same time, close to 80% of our exports are to the United States. Is it always going to be our biggest trading partner? I would like, I think it might be. So do we have a lot of options here?
At the present, we don't because we've sleepwalked into dependency. But we have to think of the future. Let me back up a little bit, Tony.
Mhm.
I think President Trump's goals are imperial. I mean, this Venezuelan situation is nobody's really saying much about it. Tactically, it was a success. The troops went in, they did a job, and managed to kill 30 plus Cubans. But to what end?
Mhm.
And it really is. It's about resources. All wars are about land. They're all about real estate. God gets enlisted, ideologies get dusted off, but it's always about real estate. And frankly, we're dealing with the consummate real estate player here. And I think that it's going to hurt Cuba, obviously, Russia, China, etc. But it's also going to hurt Canada. And I kind of think that's part of the agenda because I believe thinking real estate, President Trump is enamored with the idea of a united North America, Canada, and the United States. He's sort of put a few trailers out there, test the waters, 51st state type of thing. But everything is coaxed in national defense, which is, by the way, an old Stalinist term that's been incorporated into the West. Everything a threat to national security, kind of. It's like everything's, and now narco-terrorism is included, and it sort of justifies whatever you want to do. I think, and again, this is just my own opinion, and I'd like to be wrong. I think Mr. Trump has a view of United Canada, and the United States in a superpower of resources, money, intellect, research, technology that dominates the world. And he started with Greenland to say, oh, well, there's all these Russian and Chinese ships around there. I mean, get serious. And then also they control the other side, which is Alaska. And then he's going to say, well, you know what? Canada can't defend, the Arctic. So for
No.
national defense, we have to be more involved in that. And remember, Canada is a big country, but it's a very thin country. He's not going to do anything militarily in Canada, I don't think. But if he can make our economy so sick, so difficult, that amalgamating with the states looks attractive, I think that's part of his agenda. To be fair, and these new talks coming up will show where we're going in that.
Yeah, you're talking about the free trade talks.
Absolutely.
Do you think that that will be, we got about 30 seconds before the break, but do you think that those trade talks will be as much about political issues as economic ones?
I think more so, and I think it will show his intent. If he's intransigent, then my scenario of forcing Canada economically to consider becoming part of the U.S. becomes more realistic. I think that will show his intent.
Well, on that happy note, we're going to take a brief break. We'll be back with our guest.
It could be happy, Tony. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. That's true. That's true. We'll be back with our guest, Thomas Caldwell, after these messages.